without mincing words, we are aware that a red alert has been sent to the EFCC to arrest the national leader of our party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on trumped-up charges anytime from now. In addition, anyone who is suspected of being a financier of the APC is to be arrested, all in the efforts to decapitate the main opposition party, which is undoubtedly cruising to victory in the forthcoming elections. And as part of the offensive against the APC in the days ahead, there is a plan to freeze the bank accounts of companies, individuals, organizations believed to be financing the party, with the ultimate objective of crippling the party so it won't be able to sustain its activities like paying its agents on election day and other logistics. I'm sure the question playing on your lips are, why would anyone want to arrest APC leaders at this time? What have they done to warrant their arrest? Will there still be a level playing ground for the elections if the main opposition party is decimated just days before the elections? Well, we can tell you that this planned arrest is orchestrated by the same people who have sponsored a series of protests to the EFCC on the basis of the same documentary against Asiwaju, which they also masterminded in the first place. It may sound like an intrigue, but that is exactly what it is. Before I proceed further, please recall that in a statement issued by my party on March 9th, we raised the alarm about the plan to arrest those they suspected to be the key financiers of our party. They said it was not true, that we were raising a false alarm. Then, during the meeting of the PDP governors in Lagos on March 10th, one of the governors, specifically Sule Lamido of Jigawa State, said all that needs to be done to break the APC is to kidnap two of its leaders, apparently referring to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Muhammadu Buhari. Definitely, the current move to arrest Asiwaju and anyone they suspect to be a financier of our party fits into the alarm we raised and the open threat by Governor Lamido. How predictable can a government be? It is clear that the momentum has swung to the side of our party with just a little over a week. Actually, with just a week before the presidential and National Assembly elections. It is clear that Nigerians have rejected the PDP and have embraced our party, the APC, as the agent of the change that they so much desire. That explains the desperation being exhibited by the PDP-led Jonathan administration to arrest Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom they see as the arrowhead of the opposition, believing that this will cripple our party and stop the momentum we have gained. Of course, it's no longer news that a 6-week postponement of the elections, which the Jonathan administration orchestrated with the objective of slowing down our party's momentum and giving the Jonathan administration time to regain lost ground, has failed to achieve that objective. Hence, the resort to more dirty tactics of framing up our leaders just to put them away. Still on the frame-up, the Jonathan-led administration has also alleged that our leaders are behind a certain APC radio station, which they claim is being used to destabilize the polity. Gentlemen, we say categorically that we have nothing to do with any radio station, especially the so-called Change radio station. We believe strongly that the radio station in question is the handiwork of the same people who are accusing us of establishing it. Their main reason for setting up the station is simple: to use it as another excuse to clamp down on our leaders. They are the ones who set up the station. They are the ones who announced its establishment to the whole country. And now they are the ones who are trying to leverage it to arrest our leaders. Gentlemen, we are not surprised at the increasing resort to dirty tactics by the PDP-led Jonathan administration. It fits into the pattern of the administration's abuse of federal institutions, including the police, the military, and the regulatory agencies, to harass and intimidate the opposition. It is also a reflection of the desperation of the Jonathan administration to make sure that Nigeria is plunged into chaos by sabotaging the elections. As we have always said, this president is not interested in a free, fair, credible, and violence-free polls. That is why it can even contemplate the arrest of opposition leaders on trump-up charges, hoping that it will trigger a crisis that will either scuttle the polls or pave the way for anti-democratic forces to short-circuit our country's democracy. We are therefore using this forum to alert Nigerians to the evil machinations of the Jonathan administration and the PDP to throw Nigeria into crisis. We also call on our country's international friends to take note of the desperate tactics of the duo and to do whatever they can to prevail on them not to plunge the country into chaos. As a matter of fact, this duo, that is the Jonathan administration and the PDP, have perfected every strategy to put Nigeria on the road to Kigali and Orangbabo's post-election Ivory Coast in the days ahead. This explains why we have been constantly raising the alarm for our compatriots and the world to know and act. Election should not be a war. It should be a celebration of democracy. Nigeria must not be allowed to be plunged into crisis for whatever reason. This is because the consequences will be there, not just for our country and our citizens, but for the entire West Africa region and indeed all of Africa. Nigeria's estimated population of 170 million is more than 56% of the ECOWAS population of 300 million. Therefore, a destabilized Nigeria is a destabilized West Africa. I want to thank all Nigerians, especially those within the Jonathan administration, who have chosen to put the love of country above personal gain, for constantly giving us a heads up on the nefarious activities of the administration, which are aimed at scuttling the forthcoming polls and truncating our nation's democracy. Despite the ominous cloud that is gathering over our nation, we remain optimistic that the anarchists behind the efforts to destabilize our country will not succeed. We remain optimistic that the will of the people of Nigeria will prevail over that of a cabal that is hell-bent on holding on to power at all costs. After all, as Abraham Lincoln said, no man is good enough to govern another man without that man's consent. We have no doubt that at the end of the day, good will overcome evil.